factor. Okay, so this lesson is about scale factor and finding a scale factor. So we can use proportions to figure out and to measure things that are far away for us, that are kind of impossible to measure. Like in this example, when you see the tree, it's hard to measure the tree, but there's a ways around it, and we use geometry / algebra to figure it out. Scale factor. Scale factor is a number that shows a relationship between measurements of two objects. Sometimes we measure from a larger object to a smaller object. Other times we measure from smaller object to larger object, just depending which way we go. So we use scale factor to either enlarge the object or shrink the object, depending which side you're going from. So enlarging or scale factor we're using for enlarging objects or for shrinking objects. Let's talk about corresponding sides. Corresponding sides. We are comparing two objects. So corresponding side of a yardstick, it corresponds to height of the tree. So I can say 3 feet corresponds with h, height of the tree. Also, 6 foot shadow corresponds to 24 feet shadow. So every time when we're talking scale factor, we need to pay attention which side corresponds to what side. We have to compare corresponding sides. Next step, let's talk about original and image. That's the yellow letters. Okay, so yardstick I consider original because I know all the measurements. I can easily measure yardstick. I can easily measure the distance on a shadow of the shadow on the ground. And the image, I consider the tree because I can easily measure the shadow of the tree, but not really height because it's too high for me to measure it. So what I'm saying is that the yardstick and the measurements there are I need to multiply 4 times in order to get measurement of the tree. So if I can say 6 times 4 is a shadow measurement of the shadow, then 3 times 4 is 12, there has to be measurement of the height of the tree. One way to find the scale factor is to use fact family. Think of this. 6 times 4 is 24, or 24 divided by 4 is 6, or 24 divided by 6 is 4. That's a fact family. That's one way to find a scale factor. Find a missing factor. Or another way to find a scale factor is to look at the image, which is tree and its shadow, and the original, which is yardstick and its shadow. And we're going to say we need to find relationship between those two measurements. And we have to compare image to original. And let's focus on shadows. Image is 24 feet, and original shadow of the yardstick is 6. So I'm comparing relationship between 24 and 6, between shadows. Well, if I divide that, I do indeed get 4 again. So there are 2 different ways, more than 2 different ways to find scale factor, but those are the 2 ways to find scale factor.